All right, folks. I'm adapting. We're in a new space today, but I'm seeing that I need to move some stuff around. So that light back there just won't do. So today, any better? That's a little bit better. Today's going to be a case of I will present information to you facing forward and then do it backward. Unfortunately, I don't think doing it to the mirror is going to work today. Just some light here. We're in the big studio today. The other studio had a few issues, so we're going to adapt today and just make it work in the big studio. Welcome once again to my live stream class. This is your first live stream class. We do go over concepts often that I've taught in other classes, but we also do new material, so there's some space in here for everybody here today. A couple of things. So these next 2 weeks, we're going to continue to do this live stream class as we've done it, which is by contribution. In other words, you can contribute, or you can take it for free. It's up to you. After the next two sessions, though, I think we're going to go to pay by the class, and that will be this live stream will now be made available to those who pay exclusively. If you've been a regular contributor, I'm going to reach out to you because I want to make sure that you're getting something to measure with what you've contributed. So I want to make sure you're taken care of. So if you have any questions, email, reach out to me. But yeah, 2 more sessions. We're going to do this for free. Then the following week, we'll person pays by the class, and it'll be $10. So $10 for the class is pretty good. Would you say? I hope so. Thank you so much for supporting. We're going to be focusing and continuing to focus in future classes on structure, because a lot of people indicated they want to learn structure, communication, improvisation, and we'll do some choreography as well. Today we're going to get started by doing some footwork. And let me level this out a bit. There we go. We're going to warm up with some footwork. Usually I do a lot of stretches and all of that kind of stuff, but I think today we want to let's just get our blood pumping, our feet moving. Sometimes the best warm-up is just to do the thing, starting easy and then increasing the intensity as you go. The muscles will get warm in the process. So let's keep going. We'll get back here far enough. And I think I'll tilt this down just a little bit. Thank you for your patience as like I said, as I adjust. And we're back to vertical. There we go, use that. Almost there, folks. Bear with me, there we go. All right. So let's get going on some footwork drills. I'll show you the drills. And they're going to be real simple drills, and then I'll turn to the back and you can follow along. Firstly, we're just going to do like this. So let's think in fours, like tangos. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Back and forth. Feel the weight of your body. Relax. Lengthen the spine. Don't be heavy. To the ground. Let the weight of your leg fall into the foot. Notice I'm bringing the foot up from behind. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do double. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hit the second one. Louder. 5. Side view. try again. By the way, you don't have to turn, I'm just doing this so you have perspective. Let's do 3 hits. That's a 3. That's a 2. Here, women. Shake it out. Loosen up the hips. Make sure you don't stiffen up. The opposite is true. Sit into this hip, and then when it's time, I shift my weight into that hip. It's not a big shift necessarily, but it is, you're sinking into your hip. Let's do some variations now. We're going to do 2 on 1. We're going to do double single. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Alternating. So now I'm getting way out in front of you. Yeah. I'll do it to the back now. So we're making 1, 2, 3, 4. Double, double. So you're going. Outside. 2 and 2. Inside. Straight to the back. Let's do it. Back it down. 1, 2, back it down. 3, 4. Let's do an exercise using doubles. We're going to phrase duples and triples. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing double hits every single time, but I'm going from a phrase of duples to a phrase of triplets. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. To the back, slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I biffed that there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, trying to do palos now at the same time. Let's do the same thing a little bit faster, so we're going to go. How do we do? Good drills, good way to get your heart rate going, good way to get your pelvis loose. You cannot be successful in this step if you're holding your pelvis. You have to be able to release in each hip joint. Okay? That's a big reason we're doing that particular step. Let's go ahead and do some heel rolls. We're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 duples, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 triplets, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons. So we're going to start singles, duples, triples, quadruplets, and then back down. Facing away from you so you have that preference. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 duples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 triplets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Next up, let me see, somebody's got a little message, I'm not sure. Vamos. Okay, new forward pattern. I'm going to demonstrate it forward, then do it back. Our base step is here, on the planta. We're going to hold it for a second, so you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So you'll finish on a jab jaw, so you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do that. We'll do it for extended, longer periods. Then we'll go Same sound, but now I'm taking the jab and the toe back. We'll go over all of that. First bass step, slowly, then I'll do it facing away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Those are all jabs. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4. Now let's go twice as loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's our bass step. A variation. As I mentioned, we'll go. And then jab toe. So coming forward, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, jab toe. Facing it away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay? That's the variation. Let's do that same one, but we're going to do this a few times for 8 counts. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Facing away. First from the side out. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So one of the main points of this step is to build strength in what's called your supporting heel. This one right here that I keep hitting over and over as this foot articulates, that's my supporting heel. So you're leading with your supporting heel. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on every beat, I'm hitting that heel. That's the important part. So let's go ahead and do that again, facing the other way. Then we're going to go crisscross, which is to say we're going to go back first and across the body. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I did this, across, back to here, we'll jab toe. But first, let's get the other one going, then we'll do crisscross. I'll come out crisscross. Normal, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're ready to crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 1. Keep going. All right. driving the pattern with your supporting heel. Let's do one more variation today. This is more advanced. If you don't know how to do what's called a castigo, that's a brush out, a brush in, condensed, this, you don't have to do this one. You can go do one of the other ones. So if I ever do a variation that you don't have a grasp on yet, just do the previous version. So you could just do over and over. This first one we're going to do, or this third variation is. Okay, so it's still 8 counts, but you don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Facing the other direction. As I said, if you don't have this one, do this or this. Just underneath you. That's your variation. Let me point this mic like so. That ought to be better. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go slow. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 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 1. All right. I won't add any more to that. It's complex enough. But if you want a challenge, experiment with where you're going to put the látigo in. So you can go. You can do a heel for a jab first. Or 2 heels, 2 jabs. Or 3. There's all kinds of things you can do with that step. You can do 2 brushes in a row. Mix and match, mix and match. Just give yourself a challenge. I like to put on the compás machine, whether it be an app, whether it be a drum machine, and just experiment with different variations on that same thing. So as a review real quick, this is your big step. Variation 2 is back. That's version 3. So those are good to work on. More footwork steps. We're going to go for about, what time is it? We're about 7 minutes out. Let's do some more footwork. I need it, I bet you need it too. Now that we've built our heels, now that we've built our golpes a little bit, let's do something for our plantas. Another simple step, 3-sound step. And you've probably done this before, but it's planta, heel on the other foot, then heel on the original foot. So you're doing from the side, right, left, right, left, right, left. Back. Okay? So this one's tricky because you put your planta down, and You got to hold it there while you do the heel on the other side. And then you get to drop it. We're used to doing planta heel, but this one's planta heel, then back to this heel. 3 sounds. So let's do singles, duples, triples, and we will do it in bulería because it fits nicely. So thinking in threes, we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And duples is 1 and 2 and 3. Keep going. Triples. So that's the same step done, singles, duples, triples. So we're going to do 12 single, 12 duple, 12 triple, 12 duple, 12 single again. So up and down, up and down. I'll do it forward and back. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. That's the pattern. Let's do it facing away. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 6, 7, 9, 10. All right, so important for this step, don't plie too much. Because what happens is all the work will go into your quadriceps. You want to make sure you have strength because your body is aligned properly. My body is aligned properly and my joints are soft, or that is I'm not holding up excess tension in my knees and my hips and my ankles, just enough to keep long and keep it together, then gravity will take over from there. All my body then just becomes a conduit. I am doing some movement, but I'm not putting all my weight into my quads and trying to pound it out. So this is what I mean. Don't do this. You'll get gassed out real quick. Let's rather stand up tall, align yourself, is the idea, okay? Facing away, let's do it again. Singles, duples, triples. Back down to duples, back down to singles. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Singles. 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake it out, get a drink of water. That's a nice little warm-up. Not our usual stretches, but it's a good idea, like I said. Do the thing that you're eventually going to be doing anyway, but do it slowly, methodically, and work your way up in intensity. So, as I mentioned, many of you have requested that we cover communication, structure, improvisation. Those three things go together because you have to know the structure in order to communicate, and in order to improvise, you need structure and communication. So one thing is built upon the other. So last week we did some bulería, and I gave you some simple steps that we were going to try using in the imagined scenario that we're at a flamenco party and we get pushed out by our so-called friend and say, hey, go dance. And suddenly everybody's doing palmas and singing and playing guitar for you, and you're just there. And so you want to do something and you want to have fun, but you're very nervous. One of the key principles, if you recall, is that you don't let that nervousness overwhelm you. Best thing you can do is ground yourself, stand tall, sit into your weight, just like we do at the beginning of every class. And you don't have to do much. Just by doing that, you're instilling confidence in everybody else, that you know what you're doing. And you will know what you're doing, because we're going to equip you. So last week we did bulería. I'm going to take all those same principles and show you how it works for other palos. So tangos, if you recall, if we're thinking in eights, fours or eights, however you want to conceptualize, we're here. Now you've got a nice little swing. That swing is already something to connect to. Let's say you get pushed out and you know what to do. Gather yourself, nice and tall, get those elbows up a little bit. And sit into yourself, breathe, sit into your weight, nice and long. Connect to people through your stillness. Yeah? Simple little things. You don't have to start moving right away. You can, but let's practice coming in a little more smoothly. So, I put a letra in the description of this video, Conmigo. And it's a popular style of tangos. There's others that follow the same exact structure, the words are just different. And you've probably heard them. So I'm going to introduce you to that, letra, cante. I'm going to give you a step, and then we're going to see where that step could fit in that letra, okay? So if we're here, I'll go slow. Ay, conmigo, conmigo, diviertes conmigo. Sabiendo cómo te quiero, tú te diviertes conmigo, Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande, castigo, Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande, castigo. So you might have heard other letras like Triana. Triana, Triana, que bonita está Triana. Fits that same structure. And then there's other things you can do melodically, and it'll still fit the structure, not the melodic structure, but the how many times you've seen each thing. Like tangos to Triana, you can use that Triana verse and sing it in a minor key, for example. Anyway, that's the one we're working with. If you need the words again, they're in the description. Let's develop a little step, and then we're going to use it. So if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then we're going to go 1. going. Right planta, right golpe, left planta, left golpe. You don't have to go very far if you don't want, but you can. For example, or just here. So the step is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Okay? So I do the planta here, and then I pivot on this foot. I put this foot down. You could be chiflón, or just put the foot down. It's up to you. Some people find it easier to just planta, golpe without the chiflón effect. It's up to you. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Okay? So one of the things is you want to keep your elbows engaged and high the whole time. So even if you're going here, or if you're just putting the arms up here. Notice one thing I'm doing, sitting in that front hip, right? That's the idea. From there, elbow side, elbow still pushing forward, and then step to there. Okay? 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, and hold your position. You don't have to move much after that, if at all. Do it back view. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Yeah? Let's do it again. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. All right? That's going to be your llamada. That's exactly what that is. It's a llamada. It can also serve as a filler. You recall when we talked about a respiro, that one line in the cante where they don't sing, that 8 counts where they don't sing, that's called a respiro. You can put that step in there and it'll fit nicely. So we're going. Conmigo, conmigo. Diviertes conmigo. Sabiendo cómo te quiero, tú te diviertes conmigo, que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande castigo. For example, so let's see different places in the cante where we can put that step. So let's say you go in as they're singing. That's very risky. It's the first line that they're singing, and you're going to go in. You can do it, but there is a risk that they will stop singing because they think they're stepping on you. So you have to keep eye contact with them so that they know you know what they're doing, and therefore they know what you're doing. So we're going 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Conmigo. Diviertes conmigo. So see what I'm saying? Conmigo, conmigo. So you can do it there, but it's risky. So I wouldn't start there. Let's see what happens when you do it. Second compás. Conmigo, conmigo. So that was all right. You finished with the letra, right? Conmigo, conmigo. diviertes conmigo. And if they do other speedo, you can wait it out, or you can catch the end of it and do a little cambio. So that's a place where it could work, right? But most likely, the most easy place is in the speedo, which is Conmigo, conmigo, te diviertes conmigo. Sabiendo cómo te quiero, te diviertes conmigo. Jesus del Prendimiento. For example, so that's a good place. Based on what we learned last week, if you recall, there's parts of letras that climb and fall, and they repeat. So in other words, they're predictable. In this letra, que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande, castigo. Que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande, castigo. So there's the same two lines, rising and falling, sung twice. Now, where do you think this little one compás step might fit best? If you remember last week, whenever there's a fall in the cante, that usually was a good place to match up a one compás step. So, if we go, que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande castigo. Right? Matching, you're resolving as they resolve. But they're going to do it twice. So what if you miss it the first time? You get another chance, right? So we're here. Que Jesus del Prendimiento. Sorry, that was off the pass. Que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande castigo. Que Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande castigo. And you resolve with them, right? So you're seeing a pattern here, right? Just like with the bulería, a place where a one compás, pasito, llamada, like this, fits, is oftentimes in a respiro, or what's called the caída, or the resolve, where the cante falls or resolves. So now we're seeing this pattern. You're going to see that it works also in soleá, alegría, seguiría, soleá, although more complex in some of those forms, but it's still the same concept. So, in addition to that step, let's now put together a little desplante. Now, in bulería, desplante looks like this. Right? And we proceed a desplante with a recoge. So the same principles apply in other pasos, like tangos. So tangos desplante, we're going to do kind of a fancy one, but a typical one goes here. Right? For example, it's two compás long, and it fits two compás. So you can mix and match in a letra according to how long you want to keep the energy going. So for example, let's see. First, let's learn the step, then we'll apply it, and then we'll play with our llamada and the desplante within the same patada that we're doing. So I'll do it forward and then backward. So we're going. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, ha, ha. Right? Facing away. It could be a destate, which we've done in class. Or it could just be planta golpe. Just make sure you try to your weight pushing forward in the hips here. Right? We're gonna, I'll give you the arms in a bit. So that's the first part. So, that is jab, toe, double. I'm sorry. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Try that together. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and put that quadrille down. Alright, facing forward in case you like that version. Okay? From there, let me remember it real quick. Okay, so we're going. So you're going to end up on this squat way at the end, very slowly. So that is jab, toe, toe, or jab, toe, toe, golpe, sorry. All together again. 5, 6, 7, 8. I messed that up, sorry. I think I'm messing it up still. Okay, there it is. Right? We end up on this split from there. That is golpe, jab, toe, toe. And we're going to turn. Okay? Let me do it forward so I can check myself and then I'll do it back again. 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's the idea. So, slowly. 5, 6, 7, 8. From there, heel double single. Forward, then I'll do it back. Slowly. 5, 6, 7, 8. Around. Right? Other direction, continual but slow. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the step, okay? Let's do it a couple more times, then we'll see where it fits in the letra. I'll do it once forward, once back again. And I'll go over the arms when I do a breakdown video of this step this weekend, okay? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Other direction. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. time singing that and doing that step at the same time, but I'll try. So, tu compás desplante. That's what we just learned. Where does it fit? Well, let's take a guess. Should we start that on the very first line? We could. It's tu compás off, and the first sequence of the cante is two compás, so it would fit, and it also resolves, right? So if we do Conmigo, conmigo, tú te diviertes conmigo. That's two compás. It rises, it falls. And so that desplante would fit perfectly there. But like I said, it's risky. The singer might stop singing if they think you're doing something first. So you have to have real clear communication. Eye contact is crucial. But in the initial stages, I maybe wouldn't do it there. Now, let's see what happens when we started on the second line of cante. So for here, conmigo, conmigo, te diviertes conmigo. I can't sing and do this at the same time. The point being, however, when I pick it up on the second line, I will resolve in the respiro, right? So if we're going, conmigo, conmigo, te diviertes conmigo. That's where it would have resolved, right? So it kind of fits. If it's all right, it's not a bad place to do it. But if I start at tu compás desplante during the respiro, it could work too, because what happens when you do something like that is oftentimes the singer will wait even longer. They'll give you two compás instead of one respiro. So if we're here, conmigo, conmigo, te diviertes conmigo. So they'll wait to come in. They'll wait for you to finish. If they think you know what you're doing, maybe they'll just come back in again. In which case, you'll have to adjust. And this is the game, right? So if they were to come back in and I'm only halfway done, not only do I have to finish what I was doing, but keep it going. And that's a higher level of improvisation. Because you have to have little extra tools to add on at the end. But we won't go that far today. But here's probably the best place where it fits. Is over the last line, which repeats twice. It's tu compás. It rises and falls. That's que Jesus del Prendimiento te mande grande castigo. That's 8 counts, that's tu compás. So, I'm going to sing that, and then I want you to imagine I'm singing it again as I'm doing the step, because I don't think I can sing it and do the step at the same time. Not yet. I'm not there yet. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Conmigo, conmigo, te diviertes conmigo. Sabiendo como te quiero, te diviertes conmigo, Jesus del Prendimiento, te mande grande, castigo. Right? So if you could imagine that I was singing that last 2 lines, again, what I just did with my desplante fits exactly. Tu compás, it rises and falls. What do I mean by desplante rises and falls? Well, I go, right? Build. But then where resolve, right? So that's the idea. I think our time, the remainder of this, is best spent if I review the 2 steps with you, okay? So our one compás llamada goes here. To the back. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And like I said, I'll do a breakdown of these steps in one video this weekend. Desplante, forward and back. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Facing back, 5, 5, 6, 7. I fall out of that step sometimes. I'm sure you notice. Shh, don't tell anybody. So, that's something to chew on for this week. Study, study, study. I will break these steps down slowly, and then I'll get more detailed about what the arms look like. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just keep healthy, keep safe, keep your mind renewed each day. God bless.